Lisbon, the vibrant capital of Portugal, is known for its rich history, stunning architecture, and captivating culture. As visitors explore its winding streets and admire its iconic monuments, such as the Belém Tower and the Jerónimos Monastery, they often venture beyond the city limits to discover the treasures that lurk in the surroundings. A few kilometers northwest of Lisbon lies the stunning Sintra, a charming town that seems to have come out of the city.
The Monserrate Palace Garden in Sintra is a true botanical paradise that enchants visitors with its exuberant beauty and diversity of species. Located on the outskirts of the historic village of Sintra, this garden is a magnificent example of the romantic landscape style of the 19th century.
While exploring the garden's winding paths, visitors are immersed in an atmosphere of tranquility and serenity. Among its nooks and crannies, you can discover a profusion of exotic plants, majestic trees, and colorful flowers, creating a stunning scenery in any season of the year.
The Monserrate Palace Garden, located in Sintra, is a scenic gem that combines a variety of botanical styles and cultural influences. This romantic garden, which is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, is known for its impressive botanical diversity, where exotic species from all over the world blend harmoniously in a stunning setting. Designed in the 19th century by landscape architect William Stockdale, Monserrate Garden features a unique collection of plants, including towering palm trees, exotic cacti, vibrant azaleas, and lush camellias. Winding paths lead visitors through shady woodlands, serene streams, and stunning panoramic views, creating a memorable sensory experience at every turn.
A writer's retreat, Monserrate attracted numerous foreign travelers, especially Englishmen, who extolled its beauty in travel reports and engravings. When Francis Cook, a wealthy 19th-century English industrialist and art collector, visited the site, he was fascinated. From this passion was born a masterpiece of romanticism, the Park and Palace of Monserrate.
One of the highlights of the garden is the Valley of the Ferns, a picturesque area where a variety of tropical ferns grow in profusion, creating a fairy tale setting. Additionally, the garden terraces offer stunning views of the Monserrate Palace and the surrounding hills, providing visitors with the opportunity to marvel at the natural beauty and historic architecture in perfect harmony. The Monserrate Palace Garden is a must-see destination for lovers of nature, history, and aesthetic beauty, offering a unique experience that combines history, art, and nature in a truly magical setting. The history of Monserrate begins in 1540, when Friar Gaspar Preto ordered the construction of a hermitage dedicated to Our Lady of Montserrat, after a trip through the Iberian Peninsula, in which he marveled at the hermitage of Montserrat in Catalonia, near Barcelona. The property then belonged to the All Saints Hospital in Lisbon, of which Friar Gaspar Preto was rector and remained so, as a place of worship and production of agricultural products that are intended for the consumption of the hospital. Created from the chapel built by Gerard de Visum to replace the old chapel of Our Lady of Monserrate. This is the false ruin by Francis Cook. Swallowed by vegetation, the ruin is already inseparable from the Australian rubber tree. The niche of the chapel contained one of 3 Etruscan sarcophagi that served as garden ornaments. Today they are deposited in the Archaeological Museum of São Miguel de Odrinhas, in Sintra.
In the 17th century, the Melo e Castro family took over the charter of Quinta de Monserrate, and in 1718 D. Caetano de Melo e Castro, commander of Christ and viceroy of India, acquired the estate.
However, a few years later, in 1755, the Lisbon earthquake devastated the place, leaving a large trail of destruction.
Even in poor condition, in 1789, the place was leased to Gerard de Visum, an English merchant who had a neo-Gothic castle built there, but who lived in it for a few years.
This garden is located in the hottest and driest area of Monserrate. To install the Garden of Mexico, about 5,000 square meters, the main valley of the Monserrate Park was chosen, completely transformed. The water line was diverted to a canal built on the south bank halfway up the slope, and a complex system of support walls was built to create terraces, paths, and an efficient water collection and transport system.
In 1793, the English writer William Beckford became the new tenant of Monserrate. After that, restoration work is carried out on the building and the immense gardens that surround it. The place was again abandoned in 1799, when the writer left the property. The lease did not end until 8 years later. Even in a state of decline, the place attracts numerous foreign travelers, especially English. It is visited by Lord Byron, a distinguished poet with an unshakable bond to the world.
It is then in 1846, after so many owners, stories, recoveries, and abandonments, that Francis Cook, an English merchant and art collector, becomes the owner of Quinta de Monserrate and the first Viscount of Monserrate.
There he ordered the construction of a palace that combined Gothic and Indian influences and Moorish suggestions. The exotic and vegetal motifs of the interior decoration extend harmoniously on the exterior, which has also been redesigned and transformed into one of the most beautiful botanical gardens. This is the central atrium of the palace, where the family and guests converged from the various nuclei of the house, including the upper floor of the bedrooms, whose gallery peaks over the octagon. The space is marked by the bubbling of water in the central fountain, and by the natural light that passes through the dome and forms shadows cut by the vegetal motifs that decorate it, taking on the color of the fabric that covers it.
The octagonal shape of this atrium already existed in the early Palace of Monserrate, built by de Visme, is inhabited by William Beckford.
It is a reference to the Gothic period, inspired by the founder's chapel of the monastery of Batalha, a monument of great importance in the English Gothic revival.
Solemnity was one of the dominant notes in the decoration of the dining room, in contrast to the lightness of other rooms such as the living room or even the music room.
Suspended over the table was a fabric that, like a religious pallium or an oriental tent, muffled the echo of conversations and contributed to the somewhat eccentric luxury and ceremonial character established during the meal. Meals prepared in the kitchen were received on this floor by means of a lift-up plate rack, which is still functional. This compartment was used by Francis Cook and his descendants as a work office. For this reason, it is the only main room possible to close with a rich and solid door. Here in the library, we can appreciate this beautiful piece, which in itself, a work of art, is executed in walnut and decorated with the classic theme of Diana, the goddess of the hunt.
Excellence in table service, indispensable in an elegant palace like Monserrate, began in the kitchen department.
This was divided into two main compartments, the compartment for hot cooking, the centerpiece of which is the huge stove, and on the other side, the compartment for cold preparations, such as salads and desserts. At the access to the stairs were located the pantry and the wine cellar. This staircase creates a spectacular effect, the result of the contrast between the weight of the marble and the lightness of its construction without central support. Referred to as the Staircase of Honor at the time, when the palace was inhabited, it accentuated the special moment of dazzle, when the ladies came down to dinner with their jewels and toilettes at night, as was customary among the English elite.
On the upper floor, there are the old bedrooms arranged around the gallery where the area is currently located.
This is considered the noble room of the palace, the main place of reception and conviviality. It was in this room that music was made, the great social entertainment of the afternoons and evenings, during the stay of the Cook family and their guests in the summers in Sintra. It is the first lawn planted in Portugal with a remarkable extension and a unique double curvature surface that required a creative irrigation system.
At its base next to the lake stands out the great Norfolk Araucaria.
It is the tallest tree in the garden, measuring more than 50 meters tall. And so we say goodbye to this wonderful place. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and if you have opportunity, come and visit.